Greetings everybody and welcome to Just a Normie channel. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and share. And today we're going to be reviewing Superman and Lois, episode 4, title Haywire. And this episode is very interesting. It really shows a real dynamic in regards to the responsibilities that Clark has between his family, General Clark, his, obligation to the world, and to his wife. And this episode, it opens up with a flashback from Saskatchewan 6 years prior with Morgan Edge inside of a Humvee. And he's trying to chase what looks to be meteorites. And apparently he's making or something like that, some type of kryptonite. He finds a spaceship or something. I don't know. It was so small you couldn't really tell what it was exactly. And I don't know. I know that there are some theories about what and who Morgan Edge is looking for. Something called X kryptonite. So apparently it's a metal or a crystal that is natural on Earth. But the thing is about this flashback is that this seems to be, I don't recall this being, in the current timeline, or maybe an alternate timeline or something like that. I don't know, because I seem to think that Morgan Edge is somehow connected to Captain Luthor and stuff like that, like another dimension or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And all that. But this episode, like I said, really puts Clark's, test to his being a father figure to his boys, balancing it with his wife, his priorities as a husband, to a father to two sons, one being having powers and so on and so forth. It goes into like Smallville's mind, why Morgan Edge is there. Maybe it's got a high concentration of this K kryptonite of some sort. But it's, I don't know, you know, so far this is episode 4 and it's really well done. I can't really say enough about that. Um, the entire situation of watching this dynamic and interesting insight into what it'd be like for a married Man of Steel, Superman, Lois draws on these real world parallels to families when it comes to, having to give up your family time and so on and so forth, like a lot of people do if they're firefighters, military personnel, soldiers, or otherwise who are driven by their duty. You know what I'm saying, and stuff. And we all know that, like police officers, firefighters, soldiers, and stuff like that. Your obligation comes before your family, and sometimes that hurts your family and stuff. And trying to balance that is very hard. I know that. Grew up. My father was in the Marine Corps for 30 years and stuff. Um, and I had to go live with my aunt because my parents were divorced and stuff like that. And so I didn't see my dad very often. And I understand that, and, you know, you have regrets and stuff like that. And like I said, the character that plays Superman, his facial expressions are absolutely phenomenal because he says more with his facial expressions than he does with actually acting and stuff. And I don't know if he really knows that, but I haven't heard anybody reviewing this show actually point that out or even discuss it. You know what I'm saying? And it's this obligation that Clark has as Superman. I mean, in all honesty, Superman could just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? And just work with his family. But the thing is he's the son of Krypton. He has a moral obligation just because of who he is. and who his adopted parents raised him to be, And, we all have that sense of duty in us. I work in a certain sector and stuff, and I take great pride in what I do and stuff, nothing in the obligation that a firefighter or a soldier or a police officer or other emergency medical personnel or something like that have, you know what I'm saying? But in all of this, in the practicality, however, the title Haywire is kind of a little bit all over the place, a little bit. Some people, I've heard other reviews and stuff have stated that this episode is kind of choppy, but I don't think so. I think it goes in a lot of different avenues. It's not because you've got Clark with the boys at football, you've got him dealing with General Lane, and all that. Then you got Morgan Morgan Edge dealing with that, and then Lois with Morgan Edge and the newspaper, and then this friend in the town that and all that stuff. There's just so much going on, but I don't think it's very choppy at all. Lois and Clark, I think that it really sets this not dangerous, but priorities of where things are at and all that stuff. And Clark is really trying to balance it. And you can really see his ability to do that. Over the course of the last few episodes, though, the show has really been pushed and pulled between the character-centric superpower family drama, and then you've got these little, CW-filled pieces and elements within it and stuff like that. But so far, it's done very well for what I've seen in the past of CW shows. Let's hope that it keeps going, you know what I'm saying? But Haywire, it leads far towards multiple different arcs, I think it is, that it's trying to play out. Well, I think, General Lang is worried about because people in Metropolis don't see Superman flying around and they're in Smallville and all that stuff. And it's kind of bad that, the world or this city, Metropolis, has to see Superman to know that they're safe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in a lot of ways, what would happen if Superman wasn't really around anymore? You know what I'm saying? What would you do? Life goes on. Accidents happen. Disasters happen. Superman is only one man. He can't save everybody. You know what I'm saying? But, there's another segment in all of this too, where Jonathan Jordan must also be dealing with the newly superpower classmate Tag Harris, which is an Asian character who I think is another quarterback like Jonathan is and stuff. And Jordan tends to think that his heat vision somehow did something to Tag, but in essence, General Lang says that it didn't. Apparently, they watched the footage from the video and stuff and discovered that whatever was at the quarry was some type of gas that was released and all that stuff. So who knows what it is? But there's just so much going on, like I said in this episode. There, it's there's just so much, and I know I keep saying that, but if I had to put my finger on it, the most extraneous element, it would be probably General Lane. And I say that because he's kind of like, in a lot of ways, a good guy, but also a bad guy. He's kind of frustrated and fed up with, Clark not having his priorities right and stuff, and Lang, his daughter, Lois, who he's married to Superman, of course, was very absent. And Clark and Lois actually confront the general on the general telling his two sons that, there's priorities that your father has, and making them out like, Superman is more important than he is to his own family and stuff. And that's where Lois and Clark confront the general and stuff like that, And in many ways, and this is nothing against our active service members or police officers or firefighters or other EMS personnel and stuff like that, but they all have an obligation and stuff like that, and they think in a different way. And they think that the mission should be the priority, and that's what General Lang sees in all of this. And it's unfortunate, but the thing is what I really liked is that Superman and Lois went up against General Lang and told him, how dare you do what you did? Is that because my children and my wife are more important to me? Yes, he has an obligation to the world, but his family is also his priority, number one priority. And I don't think that Superman or Clark would put that before anybody else, even the world. You know what I'm saying? Because he tends to think that he can balance the two. But who do you choose if you had superpowers or an obligation like Superman? You know? Is Superman selfish for putting his family first? I don't think so. He can't be there everywhere. He's also got to figure out what priorities and what situations throughout the world at every minute, every second, he can get to. He can't always be there. Things are going to happen. And you know what? The natural evolution of life, how do you not know that person was not supposed to die? Or that situation was not to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm a practicing Buddhist, and I believe things happen for a reason. And we have to think about that in this show as well too. And stuff. And I think it's very noble that Superman, in this different twist with Superman having children and a wife, balancing all of that for his own happiness with a priority and a priority to the world of Earth and to his own family, and then the fact that he's got to deal with the son who's got superpowers on top of it. I mean, that's got to be absolutely insane to have to deal with in balance. And I think this episode really, really, really emphasizes that point, and I'm not sure that a lot of people actually see that, and it's just very, very insightful and stuff. I think that CW's the writing, the direction that they're going with, I think that they really did another episode very well. This is episode 4. We have one more episode, 5. We've been told that the episodes are going to stop due to, I guess, some crew member have come under, got infected with the Rona situation. So, that. But at the end of this episode, best thing right now about Superman and Lois is it doesn't feel like any of the other superhero shows on CW. It feels like a lot like Arrow in the first couple seasons. And whoever is writing and directing, I think they're doing a very good job. I'm kind of concerned with the very end of the episode, which perhaps seems like General Lang is turning his back on Superman because he opens up a project with a contingency plan in dealing with Superman called Project 7734. He got dog tags given to him by Captain Luthor and all that. So, and at the end of this too as well, we discovered that Morgan Edge is particularly compelling villains, but he did make, the reason why Smallville is so important is because he wants something called X Kryptonite, which creates it takes regular people gives temporary regular people kryptonite-like powers. In other words, it sounds a lot like how kryptonite exposure functions back on Smallville. You know what I'm saying? And all that. But Morgan Edge is a kind of an interesting villain. I don't think that he's from this dimension. Is that for some reason? And I believe that because of the whole Captain Luthor situation. But there was another part in this episode too, as well, where Jonathan and, like I said earlier, Jonathan and Jordan are dealing with a friend with superpowers and stuff. They also bring up Inhumans and stuff too, as well. So it's kind of an interesting point that they bring up as well. So, but I'm going to wrap this up because we're getting a little over 16 minutes, and I think that I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll be talking to you all later. Take care, everybody. Bye.